I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a city council business meeting. It is September 24th, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Please stand for the pledge of the flag. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember Middleton,
Present.
Councilmember Kavanaugh,
Present.
Councilmember Rathmel, present. Council President Pro Tempore Hotchkiss.
Present.
Thank you.
Now we can, does anybody have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We can move on to any reports from the committees and appointments. Does anybody have any committees or reports?
I will note the Commission for the Conservation of the Environment did meet last Thursday, the 18th. I was regrettably unable to attend, so I cannot share content, but the video of the discussion is up on our YouTube channel.
Thank you. Nothing else for anybody? Okay. We don't have any public hearings to set. There's no public hearings tonight, so we can move on to public comment. Residents wishing to submit public comment may do so electronically by emailing their comments prior to 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting to clerk@cityofbinghamton.gov or in person during the meeting. So if there's anybody that wants to come down and make their comment, now's the time to do that. Come on down. Welcome. Please state your name and if you live or work in the city of Binghamton for the record. Just press the green.
There. Yes. Okay. My name is David Curry. I live in Binghamton, 106 Highland Avenue. I'm here representing myself as a resident, and also as a group on Nextdoor called For the Good of All Now, Broome. And this is with respect to a conversation that was taking place on the Nextdoor platform. And I thought I would like to share this with Binghamton City Council. The topic of interest is renaming of Columbus Park. There was a post by former Mayor Bucci about that on Nextdoor, and it has generated tons of inquiries. So there's a lot of excitement about this. Generally very positive. The proposal that I'm making for consideration is that there has been significant public interest and discussion on the Nextdoor platform about the proposal to rename Columbus Park. It has been suggested that this renaming project should aim to achieve the following objectives: re-energize civic engagement, invite the community to participate in the process of beautifying and developing the Columbus Park neighborhood. 2, match citizen engagement with partnerships. Combine the community's efforts, our hands, hearts, and heads, with support from the state, city council, and community investors, creating a replicable model for other neighborhoods and projects in Binghamton. Ignite a sense of belonging. Foster a communal sense of belonging among the stakeholders in our city. I would like to report back to the Nextdoor group and other interested parties, such as the NAACP, about the progress of this initiative. And while I understand this is a busy period for the council, it would be helpful to receive some positive feedback and direction so that we can initiate community level discussions. Respectfully, David.
Thank you very much.
And I'll leave one copy of this with
Thanks.
City Council. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anybody else want to come down for public comment? Welcome. You got, I don't think so.
Oh, green. Holy cow, sorry about that. I've lost half of my hearing in this ear, and I thought that was the problem. Tarek Abdelism, Binghamton, New York, homeowner, taxpayer. I wanted to come and share some comments. This mayor, like his mentor, is doing his best to beg everyone to celebrate the mundane, and his mediocrity is magnificence. Every administration supports developers and our local chodos and CDCs in building housing. That's easy. Rich has a list. Mayor Ryan had a list. Now he has a list. But when you look at what Mayor Cram has failed to address in regards to our housing crisis, the list is significant and jarring. So if he wants to talk about his record about housing, I think it's fair to talk about that. We know that there has been a month-long discussion around CDBG funds and purchasing fire equipment. The thing that's so frustrating, and I wrote about this on Facebook and on an online site, is that it has become clear that the mayor used the fire department to address his own crisis of financial mismanagement. But he portrayed it to the community that it was a crisis, a public health and safety crisis in the fire department. That's not true. He has let hundreds of thousands of CDBG funds accrue and sit idle, not just from this year or last year, but from 3 to 5 years ago, 800,000. And he got dinged by HUD not once, but twice, 2 years in a row, for failing to spend these funds in a timely manner. So he went running to the fire department, the fire union, and the fire chief and said, help, help, give me something to spend money on. And of course they were like, we could always use turnout gear. We could use a couple of those cars that we were going to put in our 2026 budget. But just the way the mayor has presented this and used it as a political football to paint you all as against the fire department or public safety, whatever the heck that means, is disgusting. It's not leadership. It's incompetence, and it is misleading deception. But that's not the only problem. There are $1.8 million in other federal housing funds that have sat there for 4 years. Let me repeat that. There is $1.8 million that is sitting there unused in the home fund. In the home fund. And it's right here in this report. They received this in 2021. The eligible uses are to help and prevent homelessness, to build non-congregate shelters, to help tenants pay for childcare costs and utility costs. But instead, we send police and let 1.8 million sit unused. It's disgusting. You want to talk about your housing record, Mayor Cram? Yeah, draw the complete picture. Last thing I want to say is that this is budget season. You all are going into your budget season. I do a review of the budget every year. I have been doing that for the last 12 years or so. I really love being engaged civically. I love trying to hold up good government. That's why I do it. And I care about this community. This has all the hallmarks of a re-election budget. All the budget gimmicks and tricks. I'll summarize some of those in an article. But you will see that he is using twice the amount of fund balance, appropriation, and reserves than he's used in his last 3 budgets.
We have just under a minute left.
Thank you. Because when you come to the gap of what your revenue and expenses are, you're left with the tax levy And every dollar you can pull from the piggy bank means $1 you have to raise from the taxpayers. So he's pulling twice the amount that he has done historically. The other way to reduce that is just, these are all estimates. Just bump up your revenue projections. 50,000 here, 100,000 here, 200,000 here. You could see a pattern of some of the larger ones. They don't follow trends, financial trends. So this is just a budget gimmick. You're put in a tough position because if you actually wanted to bring honesty and integrity to this budget, you would be raising taxes on the taxpayers. So it's a difficult choice, but at least just make people know that this is just another gimmick, like everything else, that comes out of this incompetent administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to come down for public comment? I think we had a number that were submitted electronically, and the clerk can go through those now.
From Rosie Rue. Dear members of the City Council, I'm writing to express my deep disappointment regarding the recently circulated video featuring a mayoral candidate using derogatory language. The content of this video is not only offensive, but also demonstrates a serious lack of judgment. What troubles me further is the troubling alignment between the candidate's behavior and the campaign initiatives being presented. Many of the initiatives currently being promoted by this candidate mirror the very programs and priorities already established by our current mayor and administration. While building on existing successes is not inherently wrong, doing so without acknowledgement and while simultaneously displaying such poor judgment and personal conduct calls into question both the sincerity and the originality of the platform. The lack of thoughtful distinction in both the video and the campaign promises reflects poorly on the candidate's capacity to lead with integrity, vision, and accountability. A mayoral role requires not only bold ideas, but also the character and judgment to represent all residents with dignity. Unfortunately, this candidate's actions do not inspire such confidence. Furthermore, I would like to recognize and thank Mayor Cram for his leadership and for conducting both his service and his campaign with dignity and mindfulness. His example stands in stark contrast to the recent behavior we've witnessed from his opponent and underscores the standard of respect and responsibility our city deserves from those who seek elected office. As community members, we deserve leaders who elevate our city through respect, inclusivity, and genuine innovation, not individuals who recycle initiatives while degrading the very people they seek to represent. I urge the council to take note of the seriousness of this matter as you continue to lead and represent the best interests of our city. Thank you for your time and attention, City of Binghamton resident. Good evening, council members. My name is Hallie Martin, and I'm a parent and a member of the Binghamton community. I'm here to demand that this council publicly condemn mayoral candidate Miles Burnett following the recent release of a video showing his racist, condescending, and vulgar comments. What we saw in that video goes far beyond a mistake. It shows a lack of foresight and judgment that disqualifies someone from leading our city. It wasn't just the use of the N-word, it was the mocking tone and the correction of how to say morning and the statement for those of you that don't speak ethnic that show his true colors. Silence from leadership in moments like this is the same as approval. I urge you to take a clear and public stand to show that Binghamton will not tolerate racism, mockery, or hate in its leadership. Please use this for an example in your council meeting. From James Slocum, I'm writing to you today as a concerned resident, parent, business owner, and member of the Binghamton community to demand that the City Council publicly condemn and withdraw any support for mayoral candidate Miles Burnett following the recent release of a video showing his racist and vulgar comments. While the remarks may have been made some time ago, their recent circulation has brought them into the public eye, and the timing does not change the seriousness of what was said and how it was delivered. As someone raising multiple teenagers, I understand that young people sometimes make mistakes. However, what was captured in this video goes far beyond a mistake. It reveals a lack of foresight and judgment, wholly incompatible with the responsibilities of leading our city. What is most disturbing is not only Mr. Burnett's use of the N-word with the hard R, but the tone and context surrounding it. The mocking gestures, the condescending correction of the pronunciation of the word morning, and the deeply offensive statement for those of you that don't speak ethnic demonstrate intentional ridicule of Black people. These actions cannot be excused as a song lyric or a careless slip of the tongue. They reveal underlying attitudes and intentions that no public leader should hold. Binghamton deserves a mayor who represents all of its citizens with dignity, respect, and integrity. This kind of behavior displayed by Mr. Burnett only damages our city's reputation, but also risks alienating members of our community who deserve inclusion, not derision. It also undermines Binghamton's image as a place to live, work, and invest, something I'm especially mindful of as a business owner. For these reasons, I urge the council to take a clear and public stand against this conduct. Remaining silent in the face of such behavior amounts to tacit approval. I ask that you make it known that Binghamton will not tolerate racism, mockery, or hate in its leadership. Thank you for your attention to this important matter. I look forward to your response and to seeing the council demonstrate that the values of respect and equality remain at the core of our city. Respectfully, James Slocum. Council members, my name is Ray Hello. I am a parent, business owner, and a member of the Binghamton community. I'm here to demand that this council publicly condemn mayoral candidate Miles Burnett following the recent release of a video showing his racist and condescending comments. What we saw in that video goes far beyond a mistake. Students are suspended and expelled from school for posting less on social media, and regardless of when this was done, it shows a lack of foresight and judgment needed to represent and run a city. It wasn't just the use of the N-word, it was the condescending tone and the correction of how to pronounce the word morning, followed by the statement, for those of you that don't speak ethnic. This is a true glimpse of his actual feelings. I urge you to take a clear and public stand to show that Binghamton will not tolerate racism or hate in any form at the leadership level. Please read my letter in the city council minutes. Thank you. I did receive one shortly after the deadline. Would you like me to read it into the record?
I think that's fine, yeah.
Sure. Good afternoon from Mark Yanati. I would appreciate this being read at tonight's city council meeting. As someone who grew up Jewish, I am very familiar with inappropriate anti-Semitic and unkind remarks. I am very sensitive to any type of remarks that are racist, anti-Semitic, or negative on anyone's race, religion, creed, or sexual orientation. I was disturbing to watch a video of Miles Burnett, a potential mayor for our city, speaking those words. People often say that there is underlying truth in statements like this. We need to be better. Thank you.
Everything. If there's nobody else that wants to make public comment, we can close our public comment now. And moving on, we don't have any mayoral vetoes to review. There's no second read legislation. We can go on to first read legislation. We have introductory ordinance 025-57 considered in planning with Councilmember Rathman. I don't think your mic's on.
I didn't even speak into the mic is what happened. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt introductory ordinance 02557 to authorize the sale of 25 Lydia, 29 Lydia, 60 Dickinson, and 199 Murray to CAPC.
So for this one, I think we should do a holdover because it's a land sale and I think we need six people. Yeah, we need 6 votes to approve it. So do you want to change your motion to a holdover motion so that we?
I would be happy to. I will
Okay.
motion to hold over ordinance I don't think I need the O. 02557.
Is there a second? Okay, got a motion and a second, and that's all we need for a holdover. So that'll be on our next business meeting. And hopefully we'll have 6 council members present. So we'll move on to introductory ordinance 025-58. This is considered in finance with Councilmember Kavanaugh.
So this was on the work session agenda on Monday, and it was expedited, so I'd like to motion to approve 025-58, an ordinance to amend the 2025 capital fund budget for the Ross Park Carousel project.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Did we need to amend the resolution? With the dollar, does the dollar amount need to change on this? I quickly read your email, but. Okay,
There was just informational based on what I'd asked for on Monday. Right. Okay. Thank you.
okay. I'm okay, thank you. So we got a motion to second. There's any discussion? Seeing no discussion, we can go ahead and vote on this.
Councilmember Rathmel.
Aye.
Councilmember Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton.
Aye.
Councilmember Murray.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tempore Hotchkiss.
Aye.
Thank you. That is 5-0.
So we can move on to introductory resolution R 25-58. This is considered in Public Works and Councilmember Middleton, do you want to introduce this one?
Sure, President Pro
Sure.
Tem Hotchkiss.
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion for introductory resolution 25-58, a resolution to accept the reimbursement funds of 18 Eldridge Street Capital Abatement Project.
Motion, and do we have a second? Okay. Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? So this was we're accepting money to do a reimbursement for some of the repairs that were on the Parks facility on Eldridge Street. And all that work has been done. We're just recovering some of the costs of that work. Any other discussion? Go ahead and vote on this.
Councilmember Rathmel,
Aye.
Councilmember Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton,
Aye.
Councilmember Murray,
Aye.
Council President Pro Tem Hotchkiss.
Aye.
Thank you. That's 5-0.
Okay, we can go to communications from council. Go ahead and start off with Councilmember Middleton.
Thank you, President Hotchkiss, Pro Tem Hotchkiss. Okay, so I have a lot to say for this council communication, and I'm going to start off basically with the comments. Just a little bit about myself. Growing up here in Binghamton, being a young Black girl, dark skin in the late 80s, I was called a grease monkey because I used oil in my hair, a crispy critter because I was dark skinned. Now, those are just some of the things that I experienced as a young girl growing up in Binghamton. Present day. When I was running for city council, I was told that my values didn't align with the second district where I reside at, where I lived for forever. Coming into City Hall, people wouldn't greet me at all unless I told them who I was. To this day, I have people talking over me because they don't think I'm competent enough to understand what they're saying. I can't get an attitude because I'm considered an angry Black woman. If I voice my opinion, then that's just a label or stereotype. So those are all the things that I have experienced in my life, and I still experience to this day. Give me a moment, I have a lot. And like I said, those things still happen. Now, the video that is going around, I am very upset by it. I do not agree with it. I have spoken to Miles. Miles has reached out to me even before this happened. We knew this was coming. I honestly feel like racism is a real issue. People experience this every single day, and that's just a fraction of what I experience every single day. I have known Miles for a bit. He has never, ever shown those things to me. I am not giving any excuses to anything because I don't know the situation. However, back to me being here for the last 2 years, I have seen some things at City Hall under this administration that I consider racist. Number one, Jared has given the Southern Door Land Trust, a minority Muslim-led organization, such a hard time just to build affordable housing for people. Number one. Number two, a person of color has made a complaint to me and to other people within their department regarding how they're being treated, and it was swept under the rug. Number three, another resident told me that someone inside of code, when they came out, when they came out to inspect their apartment, a person that works in code, gay slurs were used against them. Last but not least, because I have more. Last but not least, in Jared's statement today, he said, people of color or Black people, residents were upset. However, I have never seen Jared at any of these places where people of color reside. I've never seen him in Carlisle, never seen him in Saratoga, never seen him in any other place without a camera where people reside. So if we are really concerned about these issues, then we need to start reaching out and making sure that Binghamton is safe for all. Lastly, I have more, sorry. Lastly, this is the same party that is condemning Miles's video, but yet they just had a visual for Charlie Kirk. Like, what is it? Like, which one is it? Is it a problem that Miles is saying it? Or is it a problem, but it was okay for Charlie Kirk to spit hateful things that are hurtful to me as a Black woman? Give me 1 second, because I was just writing. I have so much more. The world in general, like we all have our biases and things that we may feel. It is absolutely wrong. In the beginning of me speaking, I spoke about the experience and the hate that I received. So to me, I will always have my guard up towards anyone who is different from me because of the biases that I have experienced in my life. It's not okay, but that is the reason, because of those things. Racism is a reality. Like I said, I experience every day with myself. My children experience it. Even moving into my neighborhood, I've experienced those things. We should, and basically, we should be outraged by it all, not just certain things, not just cherry picking. All those things that I said happened right inside of City Hall. We should be outraged about every single thing, not just this video. I don't think that racism or this topic should be used as a platform for an election when it is very sensitive to people like myself, like Carla, like other people here who go through this every single day. All forms of hate is wrong, and we need to do better. We really have to start focusing on the things that matter every single day. I reside in the second district, but I work on the north side of Binghamton. And on my way to work and working every single day, I see the things that we need here. I do not know what the future may hold for Binghamton, but we need to do better. Like it is not okay. It really isn't. There are kids who are homeless, and it hurts my heart that kids don't have the same ability as my daughters to go from kindergarten to fifth grade in one school. These are simple things that we owe our children. So while we're going back and forth with all these things, we have to find a way to do better for Binghamton. And as far as us condemning, or myself condemning Miles, like I've had this discussion with him about it and how I felt and how I feel about it. I think the next step in moving forward is whoever is going to sit in that mayor's seat, they need to work with city council. We need to work together to do the right thing for Binghamton, but we cannot have things like this, just the whole energy of it, like nothing will get solved if we're not working together. Thank you, and sorry for talking forever.
All right, thank you. Do you want to move on to Councilmember Kavanaugh? Any comments tonight?
No comments tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Rathmel and Councilmember Murray.
I do have some comments that I want to make. I listened to the public comments that were emailed in, and you know, the request to condemn the video. And I did watch the video. And what I will say about that is that the content of the video is definitely concerning and disturbing. That goes without being said. And you know, this is not about making excuses. I think that you know, there's statements out there about you know, I don't know how old Miles was in the video, and I'm not about making excuses. Language is hurtful and harmful. And I just hope that this could be a teachable moment for people to think about the language that they're using, how it impacts and how it has the potential to impact communities, marginalized individuals who are receiving negative messages about who they are, qualities they have, character, the whole nine, right? So I don't want to I do want to respond, right, to those comments that are written in and acknowledge that, right? The video is harmful, hurtful. I think that that goes without being said. And for me, what is most important is an individual's character in present day. What are they doing, right? Because I do feel that that is most important as well. What is currently happening. So yeah, I still need to process a little bit more, but I do think it's important to acknowledge that, you know, when you have content out on social media that other people have to watch, right? It does cause harm. And again, I hope that it's a teachable moment for everyone to really give deep thought with the understanding that people are young, they grow, they mature, they understand. You apologize, and when you know better, you do better, right? And that is also important. So I appreciate that there's an apology that followed, because so many times when harmful statements are being made, there is not an acknowledgement of the harm and the impact that it can have or it does have on individuals. So I appreciate that. And I hope that this is a learning opportunity. And as I said, you know, and people, no one is without, anyway, when people know better, they do better. And I think that there's lots of discussion that needs to be had regarding racism within our communities. There's lots of examples of what that looks like, how it negatively impacts the impact of it on various levels. And so, you know, that's something that I think that as a council, we have seen in widespread in pockets. And I just want to acknowledge that, right? I don't want to just hear those comments and then act as though I did not hear that. I think that that's a part of our role as council to acknowledge those comments. So that's all I have at this time.
Thank you. And I don't have any comments or communication tonight, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.